Everyone treats summer like it owes you happiness. Long days, pool parties, your best life on a loop. So what does it mean when you feel worse? The summer blues are real. It's why summer is one of the busiest stretches of the year for people starting therapy. Therapy is not only for when you're in crisis. Grow therapy is for all the moments when you decide you want more. More support, more clarity, more tools. Mental health isn't a destination you reach. It's something you build, and Grow makes that easier. Grow connects you with thousands of high-quality licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions, nights and weekends. You can search by what matters, like insurance, specialty, identity, or availability, and get started in as little as 2 days. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Grow helps you find therapy on your time. The therapist you want takes your insurance on Grow. Grow accepts over 125 insurance plans. Sessions average $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/book now today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/book now. growtherapy.com/book now. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after this show.
Don't drink the faucet.
We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter.
Yeah, I want.
Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on. He likes it.
It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorce dad, single dad, divorce dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
Home sweet home. It is showtime. Hey, everybody. Tonight on Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show, Bill Gates and Anthony Fauci, they did not save the world. Okay? They did not save the world. That's what's going on tonight. And I mean that. I talk a lot about this stuff because it needs talking about, especially this month. I've harped on it all month long because it's important information that you need to know. All right? So we're talking about that tonight. However, welcome to Life with Peter G. Let's take two. Hey, welcome to Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork. 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Always God willing. It's good to be here. It really is. This is the easiest part of my week, sitting here for this 60 to 90 minutes or so, talking with few of my closest friends. So I welcome all of you. Great job with the follows. Facebook is slowly but surely getting close to that 100,000 follower mark, and I'm proud of you. Keep it up. Keep up the momentum. If you're watching the show, please don't let up. Just do me a favor and go hit the like button or whatever it is that is on the official Peter G Show page of Facebook, because it's doing really well, and there's a reason for that. We work really hard at this, and people are starting to understand. And the newbies, it takes some getting used to. I get it. I totally do. It's like, hey, who's this guy? Well, this guy is Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show. Speaking of which, real quick, I've been getting, the short clips. We do a lot of short clips after the show throughout the week, highlights, and something's going funky with the program we use to make the short clips, editing and all that kind of stuff. Some switch or something must have gotten flipped by accident, and it must have put some kind of heavy filter. You know how the women mostly use these filters that smooth your face out and all, do all that. Well, something on top of that, when we make these short clips, it brings a real close-up shot of me, which is, I know, trick or treat. I get it. I don't, it's out of my hands. But it's not just like looking at this. It's really close up, and for some reason, these past few weeks, the short clips have been looking like I have a ton of makeup on, or I'm getting people going, bro's got a mask on. It's like, bro's got a mask on. It's like, first off, I don't have a mask on. There's over 10 years of shows, actually since the 40s, of shows, same face, okay? So I don't have a mask on. And it was making this weird stuff, and I can see it now. It's like when I sit back in my chair, I'm leaning, so it kind of puts a crease in my neck, kind of, sort of. But it was I get what you're saying, but think about it. If you're going to wear a mask, why in the name of God would you want to wear a mask that looks like this? I mean, seriously. So, you know what I mean? There's not a whole lot to work with here in the first place, and you're going to wear a mask that looks like this, and you want to be sellable. I do the best I can with what I got. I'm only as God made me, sir. But I do the best, with what I have to work with. But the thing is, just get realistic. And these people, I think, are very serious. There's this week especially, there's a couple of things we're going to talk about that went south this week. But this is the thing about the mask. And, it's all good, but I'm just here to just a little, public service announcement. This is not a mask. This is the actual face of me. And, you learn to live with it. It is what it is. All right. So I just wanted to get that out in the open. We got a lot of show tonight, a great show tonight, info-packed show tonight. So please stick around. Don't forget to please. I just mentioned about the follow buttons and subscribe and all that. YouTube, you can tell when I talk about these subjects, it gets real touchy and they start, just throttling me down. The short clips get no views. Thankfully, the full show has still, this whole month I've been touching on a little bit of a touchy subject. Touch. Breaking out the truth serum. And they don't like that, but shows are still up there, so I'm very grateful. But anything can change. But in the meantime, when you're on YouTube, if you're watching from YouTube, hit the subscribe button. It's free. And don't forget, you can comment live during this show. And chances are I might be able to see your comments. And maybe, in between, if you watch the show long enough, that I'll stop what I'm doing. I read a comment, I get lost and all that. But it's fun and informative. And we have a good time. And that's it. Again, all the newbies, a lot of newbies. So I get the point. Some people are like, just get to the point. And you'll learn that this is an entertainment show. I am not a hard-hitting news show, although I do bring you things I truly believe that you need to hear about. But I take it in a very casual manner. We all kick back. We talk about things. I talk about a little of this, a little of that. And then we get to the meat and potatoes. And even in between the meat and potatoes, we got to stop and take a sip, Spread the love around. So please be patient. Have an understanding that whatever you're used to watching, I'm not that. If that's what you're looking for, God bless you. Go watch that. But for those who, and I do have a lot of solid followers, and I thank you. That's why I say I can't say enough. I love you guys. I know it's not, you have to make time for me. That's why I work my ass off to try to make it worth your time. Okay? I do. And the only reason I'm explaining myself, not really, but just introducing myself, because there's a lot of new people that have come on recently. They're constantly coming on now. Something's going on. Something good is going on. That there's a whole lot of new people. So I have to reintroduce myself to the newbies because they're kind enough to be following the show now. Even if you're listening to it on audio podcast, which, by the way, again, I know it's hard to watch. It's only a little after 6 o'clock in the evening on the Pacific Coast. People are driving home from work. They can't be watching this while they're driving, spending half their life on the LA freeways in Southern California. But you can Google Peter G Show audio podcast. Now, it's not live for the audio podcast. That doesn't get uploaded for another 24 hours. But once this show is over, by Friday morning or mid-Friday, whatever, for sure, you can listen to this show on your Friday drive, Saturday, and thereon. There's over 400 shows with dozens of topics. Some of them are current events and dated. Some of them are information that you can use forever and ever and ever. Topics, emotional topics, physical topics, you name it. We do a lot of stuff here. We do, and I'm proud of it. So thank you. All right. But again, just if you're on Facebook, and I know I have some of my closest friends that are watching, not closest friends, but people that I know that go out of their way to watch, but they haven't hit the follow button on Facebook. They watch all the time, though, and they comment and things, and that's okay. I'm just saying, if you are watching, just go over to the official Peter G Show page, and it says like or follow or something like that, and just hit the button. Boom, you're done. All I ask of you. I deeply appreciate it. Okay? Okay. Peter G Show is good. Okay. And that's it. I want to talk about real quick. We're going to talk, for the newbies, we talk about a little bit of this and a little bit of that before we get to things. And obviously, I think the whole world knows that Dolly Parton passed away yesterday, 80 years old. I don't think there's a soul on this earth that can say a bad thing about her. At least if there are, it's never been said publicly. She was just true blue, just a little box of dynamite that came out and entertained, millions and millions of people for decades, forever and ever. And it's very cool. But she passed away at 80, and everything was real quiet. Not a lot known and very silent. And now certain things are starting to come out shortly after her death, unfortunately. Nothing bad, but just sometimes in life, again, we all have choices and things happen. And here I am harping on this whole COVID thing and the old jabberini, and I still am because I truly believe. And if I'm wrong, someday I will apologize, but you got to prove that, because all the stuff that I'm talking about seems to be all coming out publicly now. Things that I tried to talk about 4 or 5 years ago, and I got shut down and slammed for it. Now all of a sudden, people are talking about it, and it's legitimized. However, there's still a ton of people that are going to naysay, and you believe what you want to believe. You think you need to go get the 18th booster? Boost your brains out. I mean, I'm not here to twist your arm or convince you of anything. I'm just bringing out information because there are a lot of people. Yeah, that's right. I love that too. I love that we're talking the truth now. However, when I talk about these things, because there's a lot of people that don't know. They just flat out don't know and just believed what they were told because they trusted. This is what's going to bring me around to Dolly Parton. They believed what they said because they truly believed in the entity that was telling them, aka our government or health organizations and all this kind of stuff, which in the past, even though there may have been some sneaky business, it was still a lot more legitimized than it is now. And that's the sad part. So I feel that if I bring some things up, if there's anybody watching that has one inkling of an open mind to at least absorb the information and let it stew in your head. Just keep it with you. Maybe you'll understand later down the road, or maybe it'll click like that. I don't expect, for me to be putting out this information. You just go, okay, Peter. I mean, who am I? I bring out information that other people bring to the table, and I present it, which we'll get to a little something that I made a mistake on last week. I'm catching hell for it. We'll get to that later in the show. Okay. Just a clip that went out that wasn't entirely correct. And boy, oh boy, everybody is commenting, correcting me on it. And, this is bullshit. It's fake, false info. You shouldn't put out, propaganda. It's like, I don't put out stuff just to get clickbait. I don't need to do that. I don't operate like that. Anybody who knows me, I am who I am. I do what I do. And I do it mostly in consideration for what I feel needs to be put out for you. So that's what I do. But every once in a while, something slips through the cracks and shit goes wrong. I mean, not bad. It wasn't bad, but I'll explain it. Like I said, stick around. I hope you stay throughout the whole show because I got a lot of great information. But in the meanwhile, so we're talking about Dolly Parton. And she truly believed when COVID hit, she truly believed that we all needed to get the old jabberini. I mean, she, truly believed that because she believed in the people that were telling her that. And let me show you, give you an example about this because I'll make this point here in a second. So here you go.
It's me. I'm finally going to get my vaccine. I'm so excited. I've been waiting a while. I'm old enough to get it, and I'm smart enough to get it. So I'm very happy that I'm going to get my Moderna shot today. And I wanted to tell everybody, I think you should get out there and do it too. I even changed one of my songs to fit the occasion. It goes, vaccine, 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 vaccine. I'm begging of you, please don't hesitate. Vaccine, 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 vaccine. Because once you're dead, then that's a bit too late.
There you go. But there you go. She changed her whole song because she truly believed that she needed to get it and tell people that they need to get it. What we got here? This is a longie. I can't. Cheryl Lynn, detox from the jab, Dr. Peter McCullough. I think I'm going to get him on my show because he responded to me on something that I wasn't even trying for him, but he's a known activist about this. But that's a long one, how to detox. Why don't you put that in the comments of the show, Cheryl Lynn, so people that watch the show can get that. That'd be great if you could do that because this is a bit too much for me to sit here and ponder on. But I get what you're saying, and thank you. Underneath the show, just comment, cut and paste it, and put it on there because it's good information. There's probably something that's can't hurt more than what's been going on. That's for sure. So Dolly believed in that, and she got hers and things like that. And I've been doing some checking up, and she didn't start having health problems until shortly after she got the old jabberini. And when you think about it, for those other than the naysayers, for those who understand, there's different ways that job affected people. It either took them down pretty quickly, or it's a slow, it could be months from now, it could be years from now. It affects everybody differently. It could be never. Some people are just going to be flat out lucky. But that's the whole purpose of this whole thing. It's the way it works. It's almost untraceable unless you know better to look for it. So she took that jab, and I heard stories, and I just got something from a Dr. Shankron. Dr. Shankron. Sadly, today we lost a phenomenal country music superstar. I've been a Dolly Parton fan for a very long time. I love her music and her energy, rightfully so. But when she began pushing the COVID vaccine, my fandom dwindled. Sadly, in the years following the shot, her health began serious. Sadly, in the years following the shot, her health began serious. I'd be a bad teleprompter reader. I'm telling you, that's why I can't. I have to practice for another 10 years before I can be fluid. Sadly, in the following years, the shot. Sadly, in the following years, the shot, her health began seriously declining. She ended up with kidney stones, stomach issues, weakened immune system, and more. It became so bad in 2025 that her sister asked for prayers. Today, I blame Fauci, Big Pharma, and another death that shouldn't have happened. Rest in peace, Dolly Parton. Your music will live on forever. That's from Dr. Shankron. I think it's a she. She's not very fond of the shots. Okay, let's put it that way. And what's being said on that paper is kind of true. If you look into what was going on, she was having kidney problems and all kinds of things that were just happened to become. Now, could it be coincidence? Maybe it could be. I mean, stuff happens, right? You know, we're all getting older. Not everybody lives to 100. But she was a relatively healthy person on the go all the time, and to decline so quickly, things change. Now, again, I'm not guaranteeing that this is the issue, but we're finding more and more over these past 5-6 years now, there's more unexplainable turbo cancers and things like this that are happening. The words have never been used ever. And all of a sudden now we got all this crap going on. So did it happen to her because she was one of the unlucky ones? At this point in time, we may never know. But I'm not a betting man, but I'm still saying that there's probably a good chance that had she not taken that stuff, she could still possibly be here. Who knows? I'm just putting it out there for you to think. If you have the time, go dig into it. Look it up. It's easy. So more and more information is coming out now. But God bless her. And as was said, her music and her legend lives on. She did a lot of good. She was one of the good ones. So that's that. Hey, listen, I still got a few more. I want to do some local Gulf Coast things, a couple of things, I think. Yeah, I do. But first, I want because there's a lot of astrological stuff going on for August. August has been this heavy, universal, omnibus astrological, there's a lot of dates in August that are, if you're into this kind of stuff, that are going on, including tomorrow and things, and we'll talk about that. But that's why all the more reason, before we get the show started, I want to hear from our magical moon mistress, and let's get an astrological forecast for the week, and then I can go from there, because again, everybody needs a little bit of direction. But here you go. Let's hear what she's got to say about right now. All right, here you go.
Hello, my loves, and get ready for this powerful meeting of light and dark. This lunar eclipse, full moon in Pisces, is shaking things up. So let's see how it's going to affect your zodiac sign. We're going to start off with my air signs. And whoa, look at you with the beautiful 9 of Cups. That's just beautiful energy. That's good vibes, and that's wishes fulfilled. Perfect for this transitional energy. And for my water signs, well, I know you want some money, honey. So 7 of Pentacles is telling you it's coming. That energy is, again, strong with this lunar eclipse. For my fire signs, well, you got some fire. Strength is all you need for this eclipse energy, and it is going to be strong. For my earth signs, finish up. Look at you with Ace of Cups. Look at you with some love. This is beautiful energy to happen right now, my darling. So harness it. Trust your intuition with Pisces energy and go with the flow, loves. To find out what's going on with your zodiac sign during this eclipse, moonmistresstarot.com. And as always, back to you, Peter.
That's right. Back to me, Peter. Thank you, Moon Mistress Tarot. Always a pleasure to see you on this show. For more information on how to get a reading from Moon Mistress Tarot, go to moonmistresstarot.com to get your astrological forecast. And maybe you'll, make a cosmic connection or something. I don't know. Again, for everybody's different. I like it. I take everything and I'll just take it on in, and you never know what she's got to say. Right? Look, I'm shrugging my shoulder. Right. All right. And speaking of the eclipse, as she was talking about, there's this big lunar eclipse that's happening again tomorrow night, Thursday, August 27th. It should occur around 9:15 on the Pacific coast, 11:15 Central Coast, and 12:15 a.m., which would be Friday morning, but let's just say Thursday night because it's a lot less complicated. Thursday night, right after midnight on Thursday night, at the end of Thursday at 12:15 a.m., there's going to be that lunar eclipse where I'm a Pisces energy or whatever, so I'm going to go out there and bark at the moon. All right? What's going to hurt? I want to talk to you about a little bit of local Gulf Coast stuff. This one happened about a month ago, and I just haven't had time to talk about it. But to me, it's still kind of relevant. It's a little bit warped, but that's why I'm going to talk about it because it's a little bit warped. In Pensacola, some girl got busted for renting Airbnbs and then going into these Airbnbs and filming herself urinating on furniture in the Airbnb. And she'd film herself and she puts it up on some website, who knows. But and she got caught. And here's the little story of her getting caught, and I hope you'll enjoy it, and then we'll talk about it in a minute, okay?
She peed on a stranger's antique chair. Then she got paid for it. Meet Nicolette Keough, 31, from Pensacola. The accusation, she'd book a nice Airbnb, settle in and film herself urinating on the furniture, the bed, the couch, a vintage record player. Then she'd upload the clips to adult websites and cash in the wild part. Those videos are exactly how she got caught. The stranger recognized one of the rentals, messaged the owner, and the owner found the footage online. Same rooms, same woman, booked under her real name. Then it snowballed. The first host tallied about $5,000 in ruined stuff. The next, an antique chair, a leather sofa, luxury mattresses, more than $17,000. All told, police say she soaked over $22,000 worth of other people's homes. And they think more owners haven't called yet. She'd posted bond the first time and walked. Not now. A judge revoked it. She's sitting in an Escambia County jail cell with no bond, banned from social media, ordered to stay away from the people she targeted. Police keeps circling back to one thing. She was making real money off this. Their point? As long as adult sites pay out for it, somebody else will try it. The damage is easy to see. Killing the incentive is the hard part. So what's the fair price for peeing your way through strangers' living rooms? Because right now, police think the list of victims is still growing.
Ain't that some shit? P. It's like, does anybody know that girl? Nicole? I mean, her face is right there. And, how do you do that? I mean, there's a lot of wacky stuff that goes on, okay? I think what's even weirder is how she got caught. Somebody saw that video. Now, I got to say that you got to go out of your way. I don't even know what kind of websites those are on, but that's beyond a porn website. And so you got to find that kind of stuff. So as they said in the video, somebody saw it and alerted and recognized the Airbnb. So somebody locally just happened by that video and says, that looks like so-and-so's place. And then they knew how to get a hold of them. And I'd be saying, thanks. But how did you see the video? It's like, oh my gosh. And then this girl there's all kinds of fetishes out there. I mean, this one's really kind of stupid, gross. But there's something out there for everybody. And I'm glad she got caught. I mean, she's a pretty girl too. But how you come... Let's say that, I don't know. You just, you want to make videos of your feet. That's one thing, because it's almost like, okay, it's been heard of. But who the hell sits around and goes, I need to make some money. How can I make some money? I got it. I could videotape me pissing all over stuff. And people will pay for it. And they do. I don't know. I don't know whether she's a genius or a friggin' idiot. But she needs to go do that in her own house. Can you imagine ruining everybody's stuff? That's your stuff. That's why I don't, people used to say, why don't you, Airbnb your place or this and that? Because I had, at the time, the opportunity to do something like that. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm not. I don't want anybody. I'm not in the rental business. And there's Exhibit A right there. So just thought I'd pass that by. I wonder if anybody in the Gulf Coast knows her. She's a star now. She's got 3 hot meals and a cot. 3 hots and a cot. Isn't that what they say? Over at Escambia County jail. Maybe go visit her. Anyway. Lastly, today, anybody who knows me or knows of this show, God knows how many times I've talked about family, life, parents, children, all these things. And today is another one of those quick days I just want to mention. Today, it is my father's birthday, or would have been my father's 100th birthday. And, you know, I don't care. You'll always count the years. Both my folks are gone. I miss them both terribly. I do. Even when we were yelling, you know, we did a lot of that. But it wasn't like the hatred yelling. It was just, I think it was part of the East Coast bringing up in the early days. I think. I don't know. Or we're just Greek. Talk loud. But he would have been 100 today. He made it to 92. My mother made it to 93. I have a lot to be thankful for. You know, not everyone's parents or family gets up to that ripe old age, and you kind of make it justifiable. I just had a friend of mine whose father passed away at 97 last week and a half ago. And, you know, you got to say, well, wow, how much better do you want than that? But I don't know. To me, and I've said it a million times, and I'll say it 1,000,001, they could be 150 and it still wouldn't be long enough, because there's something about, even though I was kind of taking care of them, you know, the roles completely reversed. When that final parent passes, there's just this feeling, at least for most people, I think, who care. There's this feeling of that safety net just completely being gone. Even though there's nothing more they could do for you anymore, it was just the fact that you were able to say my mom or my dad or something like. I really can't put my finger on it, but those of you who've lost your parents know, I think a lot of you will understand that feeling. There's just something about that emptiness. It's like they're not there. There's nobody to yell with. There's nobody to laugh with. There's nobody to argue, to love with. You name it. Even when they're old and driving you crazy, they put up with my shit. And I was young and drove them crazy. I did. So happy birthday to my father. And to all of you who understand, I just hope that, you know, we just touch base. Love your parents while you can, your family, your friends, because especially with this old jabberini that I'm going to be talking about in just a few minutes, people are dropping like flies. A lot of people are leaving this earth sooner than what they should be, and I hate it, and I'm greedy. I mean, if there is a better afterlife or whatever, that's fine. I'll deal with it then. But while I'm here, I love all my family and friends. I love everybody being around. So just hang in there and love everybody, okay? All right. Here's what we're going to do. I want to get to the Bill Gates and Anthony Fauci did not save the world part of the Peter G Show in just a minute. But really what I want to do real quick before we get started, I want to hear from my good friends over at Clean Star Products with their money-saving fuel additive DX1 driver. So please, we'll be rocking just a minute or two, and then we're going to get right to it. But I want to hear from my friends because this is, you know, important stuff, all right? Be right back.
Let us help you with the high price of fuel. Hello, I'm Ty Thompson at CleanStarProducts.com. We can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Here's how. Our program works the same with gasoline and diesel engines. Whether you're using a car pack or SUV pack, the instructions are the same. Add 1 bottle to your engine oil, and each time you change your oil, add 1 bottle to the fuel tank each and every fuel fill-up. It's that easy. You get 10% fuel economy on average, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. DX1 sells for $2 an ounce, so for just a few dollars a fuel tank, you can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Come on, give it a try. It's the finest green grade oil in the world from a California environmental company. You're going to feel it when you drive. Order online today. We'll get it out right away. CleanStarProducts.com/shop.
That's right, folks. Clean Star Products. I got 2 words for you. It works. And it does. I wouldn't talk about it unless I was sure of it, because I don't want to I catch enough flack in life as it is. But this little bitty bottle right here, services your average 4-door sedan. This little bottle. You pour one of these in a clean oil change, and it lasts the whole oil change. On a regular American car, it's about 5,000-6,000 miles. If you have a Mercedes or a Bentley or a BMW or something like that, it's about 10,000 or 12,000 miles. And every time you fill up your tank, you put one of these little bottles into the tank and just drive. It's that simple. It is that simple. But, why should you believe me? Go to their website, www.cleanstarproducts. Give them a look-see, okay? But all the information's up there. But here's what I would, recommend you do. There's a phone number on their website and right in front of you right now as I'm talking. 310-200-8931. Call them and talk to them personally. They'll answer all your questions. I like live one-on-one. I just do. I don't want to sit there and try and text stuff back and forth. It doesn't come across good. It just doesn't. It takes too long. Call them. And the reason I want you to call them, because if you do call them and get your questions answered, you might get Ty himself and get your questions answered. And should you decide to order, the reason I'm telling you to call, because only if you call, they will send you 5 bottles for the price of 4 should you decide to order. Because you called, mention you saw it on the Peter G Show. That's a biggie. 2 things you got to do. Call and mention you saw it on the Peter G Show. And they will send you 5 bottles for the price of 4. I mean, that's a deal. 5 bottles for the price of 4, and that's a good starter pack, because you'll notice the difference, especially high mileage vehicles. Those of you who have like old Hondas and things like that, the cars that run 400,000 miles, this is to help ensure your car is going to run better for longer. Especially the new cars. The new cars don't last. A lot of friction from the tighter tolerances in the engine. You need this stuff. It helps give the engine and the pistons and all that stuff, the bearings, more lubricity, easier to move, therefore reduces wear, get better gas mileage, all the above. All right, 310-200-8931. Give them a call. Mention you saw it on the Peter G Show, and should you order, they will send you 5 bottles for the price of 4. I mean, a deal's a deal. So tell them you saw it on the Peter G Show. Just trying to help you out. I use it myself. I do. I don't have to, but I do. So go for it. All right. So let's go now. What happens after we do the DX1 driver ad? You know what happens. We take a little sippy poo. That's exactly, because I'm thirsty. So here's to all you guys, and thank you for following. Keep following. Share, share, share. The shares are awesome, but you got to hit the follow buttons and subscribe and share, share, share. And we're making progress, and I'm proud of you. So thank you. I love you. Salute. Oh. Ew. Smooth. Very smooth. Isn't that right, Butthead?
Smooth.
Thank you. Was smooth. Oh. Let's see. Oh, good. I'm glad my friend showed up tonight. Good evening, MCF Senior. Shalom. It's not a problem. Go. You and those Cowboys, man. Oh man. You know, I don't. That's like voting for the social democrats or something. You know, it's a sinking ship. Why are you hanging with the Cowboys? What for? Why bother? Maybe you just like the uniforms. I don't know. My ex-wife, you know, she would cheer for a team because she liked the uniforms better. But you like those Cowboys. But to each their own. You know, if it makes you happy, it's all that really matters. All right, here's what we're doing. So I told you that tonight's topic is Bill Gates and Anthony Fauci did not save the world. And I'm telling you this one more last week of this month because I've had it up to here. I haven't had it up to here, but a lot of people are, I get both the good and the bad throughout the week. I get the people that go, you're damn right, right on, I'm right there with you. These people are crooks. They screwed over the world. And I also get people that this is propaganda bullshit. This is false. You should not be doing this. Well, you know, people that truly believe, close, I know, there's a lot of people I know, God bless them, that I love very much, that they'll go and get the 14th booster if it becomes available. And all I know is God must be watching over them because they're still around to back it all up. Because a lot of people that have done what I'm telling you you shouldn't be doing, although you may have done it, they sold it well. They scared the shit out of you. I understand that. So the difference is now learning from your mistake and staying away and praying to God that whatever and however much you took was either a placebo or you're just flat out lucky and God is on your side. And that 5 years from now, stuff doesn't start showing up that shouldn't have been there in the first place, because that's what's happening now. It's happening now. All right, MCF Senior. See, I'll play this because it's like Fauci and Gates are the president's friends, so please be nice. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's smarter than that now. I think in the beginning, back in 2020, I don't think he knew. I think he had advisors, people. He's not supposed to know every single thing just because he's the president. He relies on so-called experts and advisors. A lot of the naysayers won't really care. His first term of presidency, he had a lot of bad people that were referred to him, and he clearly admits it and says, look, I got to admit that when I won the presidency, but it was a lot different than running, a business. And so he was leaning, they were, hey, this is what you need to do, and this is how you need to do it. So he followed some people that he kind of trusted, and they took him down the wrong road. Fast forward 8 years later now, I think he's a lot more aware of how he got duped, although you still got, and he weeded out a lot of people and still weeding out people, but they are forever diabolically trying to, take him down any way they can, giving him wrong information. So it's a tough one on who do you really trust. Look at Pam Bondi and all that. He's supposed to trust her, and she had her own agenda, I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize for it too, but I don't think so. There's all these people that come in and like they're ass kissers and they're doing good, and all of a sudden they're just slowly, derailing everything. So he didn't know everything. And so I get tired when I get these people that are going, Trump did that. He was only in at the very beginning of the pandemic, at the very beginning, and he did his best that he could. Yes, he backed Fauci. Yes, he did. Because he didn't know that this guy was going to be such a fucktard. He didn't know. But I'm sure Trump is one of the best secret keepers. He could be telling you something, but there's other things going on in his head. But again, even now, to this day, you can't expect the man to know every single thing. Do you know every single thing? You don't have to be a president to understand this theory. You can't know everything. Now, when you take the time and start looking into things, you could find out and go, oh, shit, I was wrong on that. Happens right here. But I'll tell you, it's like, okay, that was then a lesson learned. But either way, I'm going to go back to this whole thing with Fauci and all them. So these guys, now, the one thing I think so many people are coming to terms with is that they despise Bill Gates for one. He's just, I don't know what the hell is his. Now again, they're all connected with the World Economic Forum, Davos and all that. They're all interconnected. All these people suck. They do. They want to control everybody and everything, and the useless people don't need to be walking on this earth. Hence the depopulation and all that kind of crap. They want you eating crickets. They don't want you to own anything. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. It's all their words. I just present all this stuff. Again, there's tons of people that think they got this mentality, especially a lot of younger people who aren't making it that well in this world because they just, I don't know what's up their ass, or I don't know. It's on, maybe it was their upbringing. Maybe they just don't have it in them, or they expect everything for nothing. But that's the problem. Why can't the government just take care of us? It's like, sure. But if you look back at history, which they don't, it's been tried many times. That was called communism and socialism and all that. It didn't work. That's why we are not there. But now they're trying to bring it back because they're wiping out all those bad stories, and they just want all these young kids that's like, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And that's all those people are hearing is, we're going to take care of you. And it's like, sure. Why should I work so hard when the government will take care of me? Okay. Football season in a few weeks. It's killing me. Maybe he's approving of what I'm saying. I don't know. One day I would like to, actually, that might be next week. I might open up the phones next week, but God, I forgot to say that. If I did open up the phones next week, would people call in? We used to do call-in shows all the time, but all of a sudden I got off of that, and now, I can say, hey, we're having a call-in show. If I did a call-in show next week, I want people to text me comment and or write email or comments in the show's comments. If I was to do a live call-in show, this would be your opportunity to get whatever you want to get off your chest about the show, about what you think about the world, about what you think about me. I don't care. Whatever you want to talk about. If I was to open up the phone lines and just do strictly a call-in show, I'm just going to sit here until the phone rings. Would you do it? Just write in and tell me about it, okay? We'll clip that and maybe use it as a promo. But I've been considering that again. And I meant to say it earlier, but I'll say it again before we leave. I got a big old note here too, but no, I forgot. Anyway, okay. So I talk about this stuff, and here we go. I want to start introducing you now. The Adam Carolla. Adam Carolla, I love him. I want him on my show, and I want to be on his show because I like the guy. He's a matter of fact guy. But this is him. He's had it up to here, an impacted ass with Fauci and Gates and all this stuff, and he's not afraid to talk about it. And he's a Hollywood kind of guy. He's been in the business for quite a long time, a lot longer than me. And he has had an impacted ass full of this stuff. And it's so easily in your face. And there's people that just refuse to believe, refuse to take it into consideration. And he's talking about it. And I dig that. So here, check him out. Here you go.
Fauci wasn't just wrong. He silenced, smeared, and attacked any detractor, which makes you a bad dude, especially when you know the truth.
Yeah.
See, the reason Fauci is a bad dude is it's one thing for me to have an opinion and you have an opinion. Okay, I think this, you think that. It's another thing for me to think this and then want to attack you for your opinion because it's infringing on my opinion. It's a third thing to know you're right and smear you as a quack. He knew those other doctors were right and smeared them as quacks and ruined their reputations and tried to get them deplatformed so Julia Roberts could kiss his balls. That makes him a bad dude. And I know you guys bought the candle. And I know everyone on the left thinks he's a fucking hero. And I know Harvey Levin thinks he's a hero. And would you open yourself up to some fucking information? He's not being railroaded. He's being spoken to this way because of what he did. And the damage that he caused, like you go, an arsonist lights one match. An arsonist lights one match. And you go, whoa, what's the big deal with the arsonist lighting? The guy just lit a match. Yeah, but he took out 200 homes and he killed 18 people. And by the way, that's all on him. He lit the match. The fire could have burnt itself out in 10 feet and he's fine. But it didn't. The wind kicked up and he took out all these structures and caused billions of dollars worth of damage and took lives and killed pets. And that's on him.
Yeah.
Because he's a fucking arsonist. And Fauci's an arsonist. Fauci struck the match. He started the fire. I didn't tell anyone. You fucking ruined kids' lives. You did an experimental vaccination. You stopped livelihoods. You send kids into depression, suicide, learning loss, all the shit that went along. You struck that match, you arsonist, and that's why you're being fucking punished.
Yeah.
So fuck off. And all the weak-willed pussies who are on the left who want to defend the arsonist, fuck right off.
Oh, I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, that's. See, there's a reason how you, when you you insert that language, the inflection pretty much gives the level of severity. It's like, I'm that serious when you put it in that type of wording. And I respect that. It's like, there's no being nice about this. It's like, he's not physically doing anything, but he's definitely getting the point across. I think. You tell me. I think he makes an exact point. There's no mistaking his explanation. But there's a guy named Dr. Paw, P-A-H, Dr. Paw, talking about Dr. Fauci. And he makes another valid point. Again, the reason I put out this stuff is so I can show you that the system is corrupt. He's corrupt. They screwed a lot of people over. The ones who believed in it, I almost did. They screwed people over, and now people are paying for it with their lives. Here you go.
Fauci knew by the summer that the vaccine doesn't halt transmission, and it barely even blunts transmission. It's barely a dent in transmission. By the time the Biden mandate went into place, it was clearly unethical. You can't mandate people to take a shot that's not going to help third parties. Fauci knew that, and he documented that in his diary. He says that if Rochelle Walensky tells people the vaccine is ineffective in halting transmission, it will undermine the Department of Justice's vaccine mandate efforts. Ergo, we shouldn't tell him that. And that, I think, is incredibly problematic, that he said that he had that position. That's not a scientific position. That's manipulating science to achieve a policy goal. You know, on the liberal media, they don't seem to understand why people are so angry. Oh, it's no big deal. There was a vaccine mandate. I personally know many people who were working in their jobs, sometimes even as healthcare workers. Think about a nurse. She's working in the pandemic. She's choosing to work even at risk to herself, no vaccine. She gets COVID on the job. She recovers from COVID, and she's working for a few more months. Then they tell her, if you don't get the shot, you're going to be terminated. She says, I don't need a shot. I've already had and recovered from COVID-19, which, by the way, is another sort of Fauci contradiction. They mandated it anyway in her, and she loses her job. And you know, I want to say it's not just the loss of a job. I want to say one more thing about mandates. Some people say we've always had mandates. We've had mandates for childhood vaccines, etc. A mandate is not just the requirement. It's what's the punishment if you don't do it. In the past, we've had mandates, and, you know, if you didn't do the mandate, maybe you have a fine, a monetary fine. This mandate comes with a penalty, and it's a stiff penalty. If you do not do this, not only can you not work in this job, you cannot work in this sector of employment indefinitely. You know, this nurse is not allowed to work not just at this hospital, at any hospital indefinitely based on this mandate. That to me is a career death penalty. It's an extremely severe punishment for a policy that was wrong. And Fauci is the architect of that policy.
Correct. He took the science and he kept it to himself amongst a few people and then just rewrote different things. So he altered it, manipulated it. He lied, basically, layman terms, he lied. He didn't want certain things that he didn't want to come out, and he didn't. So he just started making shit up on his own. And he got real good at it. And many people followed him. And as I said, people were losing, never mind all the people dying from this stuff, but people were losing their jobs, their livelihood, firemen, military people, everything. If you don't take the shot, you're gone. And they lost everything because they refused to take the shot. And now we realize it was all bullshit. And, good luck taking that stuff back. Please believe in the science. We all came from monkeys. That's great. Well, at least I got somebody paying attention. He manipulated science. He lied. Okay, he lied because they started having an agenda, and if the word got out, less people would be willing to take the jab. Besides the point of being threatened, I told you, my ex-wife, she got it. She had to take it. She did not want to take it. She's in healthcare. She didn't want to take it. For the first time, I actually felt bad for her because I know that this could go very, very wrong. And that happened for a lot of people. So that was that. But he lied. It's just real simple. Okay, so here's something about the vaccine. It's like, what's in the vaccine? And why were they making it so important, that you needed to take the vaccine? So here you go.
Fauci's now being held in contempt of Congress. So what was really in those vaccines? First of all, stop assuming the pandemic was about a virus. Unsealed records of biotech receipts unveiled a dark, deliberate blueprint. They had two goals: global population control and turning the human body into a remote control, biological human antenna. Before I continue, I promise I'm not trying to scare you. But we can never do anything about it if we don't know what's going on. And we certainly can't stop it again if we don't stop it now. So what's in the vaccine? Let's jump straight into the tech they don't want you looking at. Whistleblowers point to self-assembling metallic nanostructures inside the vials. These created rubbery blood clots that were clogging human arteries. This wasn't a mistake. It was by design. It was a targeted attack to take out the elderly who knew the old world, to eliminate the disabled, and to load the survivors with these nanoparticles. What was their goal? To modify human DNA and turn your body into a walking bioantenna tuned into 5G and 6G signals. This allowed human mood, behavior, and vital signs to not only be tracked, but influenced by central frequencies. And consider this. A standard vaccine takes 10 to 15 years to produce. Yet they were trying to guilt trip 8 billion people into taking an untested vaccine that was produced in under 10 months. For those of you like myself that refused to comply, they stripped you of your livelihood. It proves this was never about health, but total behavioral submission. And what about the mask? It was a symbolic muzzle. It hurt children and failed to stop airborne viruses. In other words, it was a marker of compliance, not a barrier for disease. I told you about Bill Gates and Epstein's conversation. Yeah, how their plan to solve poverty was to eliminate poor people. Where are poor people? Shortly after that, COVID-19. Remember when I told you about how they funneled U.S. tax dollars through the EcoHealth Alliance to get gain-of-function research on coronavirus? What does that mean? Meaning they create the virus, deploy it, create the vaccine, sell it to us, while quietly installing extra code to keep us sick. That's like Windows 101. It's just Bill Gates' computer scheme applied to human biology. But the cover-up, though. Joe Biden had to issue a preemptive pardon, despite having that Anthony Fauci pled the fifth 111 times. And now he's held in contempt of Congress. Why plead the fifth when you can't even be prosecuted? Because the paper trail leads to something so dark their entire system would collapse if you found out about it. These billionaires see us as an overpopulated herd that needs slaughtered and managed. As if we're not the ones doing all the work and creating all the art. So what are they so afraid of? 8 billion awakened souls who stop playing their demonic games. Detox your mind, body, and soul. Don't live in fear. Live in awareness. If you got the vaccine, you're okay. You have natural DNA that outranks their artificial hardware. Just stop blindly doing everything they say. My name is Derek. If you like what I do, follow me for more.
Thanks, Derek. He's right. Don't you remember funeral homes and people and doctors talking about these blood clots? They're pulling out these strings of like this rubbery, they look like gummy worms. That was the blood, coagulating in the veins and just clotting. Never seen anything like that before, ever. This stuff was doing that. They've never seen, prove me otherwise. I'll, educate me. But it's never been talked about. It's never been done. So what am I to believe? The naysayers, or when they show you clips of pulling stuff out and going, I've never seen this before, and all these funeral homes and stuff that do the embalmings and all this kind of crap, they're going, this is some wild stuff. They scared you into it. Again, I can't say it enough. A lot of people made the mistake by buying into the trust, but you can still turn it around. And he made a very valid point. There's 8 million of us. If we all start getting wise together and saying enough is enough, all these people, Fauci, Gates, and all the other ones over at the WEF, they'll all go back underground. They can't stand up to us. But if you believe in them and they get their claws in you, that's it. All right. Dr. Fauci's science with Bill Gates, the science. I am the science. Here you go.
Dr. Fauci became front and center, and the key message is about the vaccine is good, you should take it, and some level of mask wearing is good. I don't think he ever confused anybody.
Right now, at this moment, there is no need to change anything that you're doing on a day-by-day basis. But as soon as it became clear that there was community spread, then it became clear that we were in real trouble. When was that? Well, that was probably towards the middle to end of January. Right now in the United States, people should not be walking around with masks. Putting a mask on yourself is more to prevent you from infecting someone else. If one mask is good, 2 masks are better. We are certainly right now in this country out of the pandemic phase.
Though declaring the pandemic phase to be over, Dr. Fauci also said he will be skipping the White House Correspondents' Dinner. His reason, COVID precaution.
The guy and the news media were constantly contradicting themselves. In the beginning, they were a little more open about it, If you get the flu, you get COVID or whatever, there's nothing stronger than to protect yourself against the flu or COVID, which is the flu. If you've got it, you are better than vaccinated. You have the ultimate immune system. And then they changed their tune. Fortunately, I think a short clip just went out yesterday or the day before talking about how they contradict each other. And thank God for all these video clips. You can find them easily and play them from 5 years ago. And it's like, he said this then, and now he's saying this now. Which one is it? I mean, common sense, you'll figure out which one it is. But for those with the blinders on, I love you, but wake the hell up. That's putting it nicely. I just don't get it. It's like there's so much stuff out there, but yet you refuse to be in the... You just refuse to accept the truth. Doesn't make sense to me. Why? But there's a lot of that going around. It's kind of like TDS, only for this whole health issue. And stop, for God's sake, stop tying Trump to this pandemic. He didn't bring it on. Your hatred only goes so far. Then it turns into ultimate stupidity. Which one are you? Ignorant or stupid? Pig-headed or just fucking retarded? Which one is it? Or libtarded? I don't know. I'm just asking. Not saying you are. I'm just asking. So again, Bill Gates says you must get vaccinated. He wants the whole world to be vaccinated. And that's just the way they want you. And because they have a reason for it. And he's bluntly open about it, or was open about it years ago, but you all must get vaccinated. Don't get it.
With no medical background, Bill Gates then went on to become the world's foremost pusher of vaccines and population control. And now he is saying that until we get mass vaccinations, we might never be able to gather in groups.
And which activities like mass gatherings may be, in a certain sense, more optional. And so until you're widely vaccinated, those may not come back at all.
In January of 2017, Anthony Fauci told a crowd at Georgetown University that there would be a surprise outbreak during the Trump presidency.
There is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration, but also there will be a surprise outbreak.
October of 2019, Bill Gates sponsored Event 201, a simulation that estimated 65 million people killed by coronavirus.
Yeah. It's called premeditated. They knew everything about it. They made it happen. It was not about getting everybody sick. It's about getting control of the whole world. See, the bigger picture. But everybody was so focused because they scared the living shit out of you. So I get it. But again, I'm hoping that there's somebody in this crowd listening and or watching this show sometime in the future that it's going to ring a bell and turn the light on and go, it all comes together now. It's okay if you fell for it, so long as you get your way out of it. But if you keep on going down that road, it's like Fauci's he's a lifesaver. Screw you, Peter. It's like, all right. Have fun at Camp Stupid. Tell Jesus hello. I'll get there when I get there on my own terms, not by Fauci and Gates. I want to give everybody a little education on Bill Gates, because the problem was, I think there's still a lot of people that think that Bill Gates is supposed to be this loving, giving philanthropist who's only concerned about the health and well-being and the happiness of humanity. He gave away so much money. He did this, he did that. I'm here to tell you, folks, bullshit with a capital B. Capital B. Big ass capital B. Bullshit. And I'm going to play you a little clip that's going to give you the history of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I think this is a good one, so pay attention, folks. I think this is really helps you to understand that these people aren't this giving people that give a shit. All they're trying to do is keep their money and spend it on things other than you and make it sound like they're doing something good. But here, check it out. There you go. Take notes.
Having watched Rockefeller's business model, Bill and Melinda Gates donated $36 billion of Microsoft stock to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation between 1994 and 2018. Very early on, Gates created a separate entity, Bill Gates Investments, which manages his personal wealth and his foundation's corpus. Bill Gates Investments predominantly invest in multinational food, agriculture, pharmaceutical, energy, telecom, and tech companies with global operations. Federal tax laws require the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to give away a portion of its foundation assets annually to qualify for tax exemption. Gates strategically targets his foundation's charitable gifts to give him control of the international health and agricultural agencies and the media, allowing him to dictate global health and food policies, so as to increase profitability of the large multinationals in which he and his foundation hold large investment positions. Instead of depleting his wealth, those strategic gifts have magnified it. Gates' personal net worth grew from $63 billion in 2000 to $129.6 billion. Gates' wealth expanded by $23 billion during the 2020 lockdowns alone. Gates became even more powerful through his decades-long partnership with Dr. Anthony Fauci. The effects of his partnership with the U.S. government's premier public health official anointed his public health experiments with credibility and gravity. Dr. Fauci's power derives from his capacity to fund, arm, pay, maintain, and effectively deploy a large and sprawling standing army. The National Institute of Health alone controls an annual $37 billion budget distributed in over 50,000 grants, supporting over 300,000 positions globally in medical research. The thousands of doctors, hospital administrators, health officials, and research virologists whose positions, careers, and salaries depend on AIDS dollars flowing from Dr. Fauci, Gates, and the Wellcome Trust, which is Great Britain's version of the Gates Foundation, are the officers and soldiers in a mercenary army that functions to defend all vaccines and Dr. Fauci's HIV and AIDS doxologies. The Fauci-Gates partnership led to a $1 billion increase in funding to Gates' global vaccine programs, while the National Institute of Health's budget itself experienced little growth. Moreover, Dr. Fauci was an international power broker controlling massive bankroll and wielding incredible influence across Africa due to his ability to influence the funding of U.S. foreign aid toward the AIDS paradigm in Africa, in which vaccines and drugs are prioritized over nutrition, sanitation, and economic development. HIV provided Gates and Dr. Fauci a beachhead in Africa for their new brand of medical colonialism and a vehicle for the partners to build and maintain a powerful global network that came to include heads of state, health ministers, international health regulators, the World Health Organization, World Bank, World Economic Forum, and key leaders from the financial industry and military officials who served as the command center of the expanding biosecurity apparatus. Their foot soldiers were the army of frontline virologists, vaccinologists, clinicians, and hospital administrators who relied on their generosity and acted as the community-based ideological commissars of this crusade. Over many decades of testing, Fauci and his team, funded by Gates, have never come close to creating a vaccine for the AIDS virus, while squandering billions of dollars and uncounted human carnage. In 2020, many of the Gates-Fauci HIV vaccine trials in Africa suddenly became COVID-19 vaccine trials, as the unprecedented tsunami of new COVID-19 plunder began flowing through Dr. Fauci to the same disciplined legions of the virology caste. You won't believe how. Find out by pre-ordering Robert F. Kennedy's new book, The Real Anthony Fauci, releasing November 9th, 2021.
Real nice people. Real nice people. Make no mistake. See, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. wrote that book in in 2021, before he even had his hand into this whole thing. He was already in, and who knows how long it took him to write that book. You know, probably started on in 2019 or something like that. But make no mistake, Fauci and Gates are evil people. They experimented in Africa on the people of Africa because they're throwaways. Villages, all that kind of stuff. Instead of helping them to thrive, they just tried all their chemicals out on from babies to adults. They did it the same thing here in the States, on orphanages with children and babies and young adults in orphanages, the throwaways, the people nobody cared about. Who cares? Nobody cares about them. Let's use them. That's worse than Germany, if you ask me, during World War II. Because this wasn't even war times. These people are doing this, knowingly doing this. Nice people. Don't forget it. Because this is who we're dealing with now, still. And they're doing it to us a lot more subtly now. They're trying to anyway. Depends. You don't have to accept. And especially, again, people say, well, what are we going to do? We can't do anything. It's like, you can. You be alert. You make noise. You say, I'm sick of this shit. They don't want everybody rising up. If everybody rises up, believe me, they're going to sit down real fast. The biggest thing I get is I can't believe that nobody's handled this situation with these guys and put them out of their misery or something like that. It's like, I don't know. Easier said than done. I don't know. That's not the way the legal system works. And as Musk said, the wheels of justice turn very slowly. We have a lot of good people with good intentions, but they're fighting the deep state, the dark entities, the evil behind the curtain. It's not that simple. If it was, problem be solved. We know what's right and what's wrong. Most of us do. And these guys are wrong. By the way, just for you flu vacciners, I don't believe in the flu shot. I think the flu shot is, by the time you get a flu shot, yeah, it'll get you sick, but you won't get sick from the flu shot that you got because some variant is going to get you sick. If you get sick at all, period. I just don't believe it. And now more than ever, now that they got their hands in this stuff and they're tampering, there's a new flu shot that they're not going to really explain too much to you about. They're going to talk real good about it, how important it is for you to get your flu shot, especially the elderly people need to get their flu shot. And this stuff now, they're putting mRNA in the flu shot now. They're manipulating the flu shot. Blah, 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 blah. You try it. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. And I no longer trust the medical system for allowing this shit to come out. They are experimenting. They're taking notes and seeing who's getting what and what's happening to who. Don't be a dumbass. Here. Got this woman to tell you about the new flu shot. Enjoy.
Well, folks, it happened. Sorry to keep beating a dead horse. Believe me, we'd like to move on too. But the FDA officially approved the rollout of the new mRNA flu shot called Influsiva. And they released it just before midnight, which if that's not a red flag for sneaky business, I don't know what is. But then again, companies that choose profits over people, it does make perfect sense. A few things really quickly about this. They did finally release the 92-page vaccine insert now that it's going to be given to the public. I have not had a chance to read through that fully. I did peruse it. A couple things jumped out, including a number of side effects, including a couple people dying during the safety trial, which of course they said was not related to the vaccine. I think it was something like 10 people. So some will also say 10 people isn't really that many. Well, I think to those families, 10 people is 10 people too many. In addition, the safety study done less than 6 months was only 40,000 people. So they really didn't have enough people, in my opinion. So what they're going to do to combat that, and one reason why the FDA said, okay, we're going to go ahead and let y'all get this out to the public, is because the FDA wants them to test it, aka guinea pig it, on at least 800,000 more people over the next 2 years. So they are going to want more people than that to do it. So they are going to be suggesting and pushing this thing. Another thing the FDA said is that in their reasoning behind approving it, even with limited safety studies, less than 6 months. I already say that? Less than 6 months. Okay, yeah. Is that they admitted that the current flu shots are so ineffective, they're looking for new therapeutics. They admitted that. The CDC has been saying that for years too. Funny when you see it in writing. So another thing that they did not study at all is transmission. So they have literally no idea if the people that get this new therapeutic are going to be more likely to transmit the flu, which is just wild. No one is tracking that. Unbelievable. Or maybe they are and they're just not telling us. So do your research. Go check out the vaccine insert. We are going to see the shiny side of it in the news media. That's just what they do. But there are absolutely always two sides to that coin. So please do your research, whatever you decide. It is approved. It is rolling out and it is going to be hot and heavy.
Guinea pig is the key word, folks. Guinea pig. Guinea pig. They're experimenting. They're live experimenting on you. They build it up. So yeah, no, this is good. They take it and it's all of a sudden you take it. It's like, poof, and they go, okay, maybe we put a little bit too much of that in there. We'll try it this way this time. Next. They don't care. Flu shots. Flu shots are a waste of freaking time. But they psychologically my parents used to get flu shots. Wintertime's coming. Go get your flu shot. It's free. See? Another thing that's just scary, and I've learned a lot about this. They're giving away for free. Why don't they give insulin for free for the diabetics? No. They know that shit works. Why don't they give, I don't believe in chemo, but they're but a lot of people do chemo because that's the treatments. I don't believe in it. I just hate that you got to poison your body to try to live. And then when you do live, your body's so screwed up that you don't live. You know what I mean? Everybody knows about it. But it's like they don't give that shit for free. Hell, you can't go to a hospital and get an Advil for free. But they're more than happy to give out the stuff that they're friggin' trying to figure out and use you as an example. Speaking of example, last week I had a clip that I played about the history of Fauci. And it was a clip that was thrown in almost kind of last minute. Maybe it was, I think, about an hour before the show. And I'm scrambling, and it looked good to me. I wasn't thinking completely clearly. I mean, it felt good, it looked good. I go, okay. But, however, this whole week, people have been commenting that I'm using clickbait. It's false. I should stop spreading propaganda. I mean, here's the one thing. I'm really happy that people are paying attention. Okay? I'm going to play this clip. But I obviously made somewhat of a mistake. Okay? I did, and I admit it. It's not a bad mistake, but people are bringing it to my attention, and that's great. I'm telling you, I am so happy that, and a lot of people weren't being asses about it either. Some were. I like the people that still love the show or like the show or tolerate or watch the clips and they're not, anti Peter G show. They go, dude, this is not right. It doesn't make sense. Do the math. I'm going to play the clip and then we'll talk about it. But this was a clip about the vaccine history. And then I'm going to tell you, just a couple of things that were wrong with it, but yet why, even though I still say, okay, you are correct, but I still get a pass because of a certain reason, and I'll tell you that after you watch it, all right? So here you go.
Now here is a crazy conspiracy theory for you. Guess who the first CEO of Moderna was? A Cornell graduate by the name of Anthony Fauci, aka the father of HIV, who in his turn was a roommate of Billy Boo Gates, who made a lot of money on what exactly again during the pandemic? If you're new here, welcome. Take a seat over there, because it's storytelling time. Grab pen and paper and be ready to rewind for a few times. Moderna was a pharmaceutical company that started in Germany under the name IG Farben. IG Farben is infamous for its mass production of Zyklon B, the primary gas used to eradicate a few from the Minecraft server during World War II. After Germany fell, IG Farben was dissolved and its assets sold off by a Nazi-turned-American by the name of, you guessed it, George Soros. Soros rebranded the company as Moderna, and just to top it off, take one wild guess who the primary stockholder of Moderna was until his death? Jeffrey Epstein. Crazy world we're living in. Got another Epstein story coming up later, but first, as we can read in the Epstein files, Billy Bill Gates and Epstein spoke about pandemic simulations back in 2015. Epstein's convicted accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, her sister, Isabel Maxwell, owns the company that puts out Amber Alerts. Their father, Robert Maxwell, owned the company that made Your Kids textbooks and was the founder of Pergamon Press, a prominent British publishing house specialized in science and medicine. God, the coincidences. Dear Robert is the subject of several tributes and commemorative articles published in PubMed Index journals, the oh-so-beloved source of peer-reviewed research. Now, who exactly did the peering and who exactly did the reviewing here? McGraw-Hill Inc., an American education science company that provides educational content, software, and services for students and educators across various levels, formed a 50-50 joint venture with our dearest Robert Maxwell back in 1989 already. And there's this Leon Black, co-founder of the parent company that owns LifeTouch, being listed in the Epstein files, personally paid Jeffrey Epstein approximately $158 million for advisory services between 2012 and 2017. Not a bad fee for some 5 years of advice. And who was LifeTouch? the biggest school photography company in America, shooting millions of student portraits every year. Now, why do all these figures share that oh-so-deep interest in science, medicine, and education? More on that later from my side, but in the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget who loves you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Then I haven't even told them about how the Archilds paid Jeffrey Epstein $25 million a year to hijack everyone's health.
Okay, so last week I played that clip, and I didn't think anything of it. I was just, we were flying. When I get into this mode, get up to showtime, the clip was almost a last-minute throw-in clip. It seemed pretty good. I didn't research it. I don't have segment producers. I'm working on it, but, and we don't have people that just go through everything note for note. So apparently, and thank you for the crowd. Again, I'm embracing it. So I apologize because this video apparently, and I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and say is half wrong. Some of the things this guy has said, and again, you can look him up and his name's on there, and I forgot to even put that, and go ask him. But I apologize because I accepted that video and I played the video on this show. So I apologize for half leading you down the wrong path because he says that that Fauci and Bill Gates were roommates. Well, a lot of people are going, how is that possible? And now they're assuming college because there's a 14-year difference between them. Fauci's 85, Gates is 70. Now, they didn't say that they were college roommates. He just said roommates. But okay, let's say that there's some bullshit involved here. This guy's half wrong. And somebody said he was never the CEO of Moderna. I don't know. I haven't had time this week to back it up. I'm just going to say, okay, you're right. Some people took the time. I mean, they wrote long-winded, just going down line for line. And God bless you. Maybe you should be working for me. Nobody was real bad about it. There were some people that going, just stop your propaganda and your clickbait. I'm telling you, I don't do this on purpose. I made a mistake, and I'm fessing up for it. It's not a bad mistake, though, because here's where I'm going to redeem myself. And we're going to agree to disagree. That video and the people named in that video, every single person that man named in the video, every single one of them are truly pieces of shit. They are all evil, greedy, thoughtless people who care nothing about you and I. And I'll stand by that. So yes, there was a few inaccuracies of that video. However, just because the history or the timeline a little bit that this guy talked of was kind of inaccurate, there was a lot of accuracy about it. And especially all roads lead to one, the WEF, the NIH, Fauci, Gates, Soros, all these scumbags. They all suck. They need to be put in a rocket ship and sent into space forever. So again, I apologize. I did not intend to mislead anybody. Maybe I'm overdoing it and shouldn't even care. But I do. I just want you to know it's not intentional. So that's it. Just wanted to bring that up because I've caught a lot of flack over it. But again, a lot of comments. I should do more crappy, wrong videos. I seem like more. At least I know you're paying attention. But I don't want to do that. I want to bring things that are important to you and as accurate as I can. I mean, again, the law of averages, how many thousands and thousands, maybe how many videos have been played on this show? 10, 15,000 videos in the course of the lifetime of this show? Maybe more. Actually, more. So, every once in a while, something's going to kind of happen, just like our technical issues. God knows. I'm so sick of those. But other than that, it's great. Listen, I want to ask you again, now that I remember, if I was to do a totally call-in show next week, would you call in? I want to clip this. If I was to do a total call-in show next week, giving you, the people, the opportunity to call in and tell me whatever's on your mind, your thoughts about life, about the world, about you, about me, about the show, about what you think about this, about what you think about that, Would you call in? I want to know. Put it in the comments of this show. And maybe I'll do that next week. I'm not really sure. There's so much news going on, but let me know. Because I like call-in shows. I do. I want to hear from you people. But the worst thing in the world is when I do a call-in show and everybody's waiting for somebody else to call in. I gave up the whole multi-phone system. It's a much simpler system now. You know, it's a little bit more basic, but it still works. You might have to hear beeps now and then while people are trying to call in. But first you have to call in. So let me know. Would you call in next week if I allowed for call-ins? And you can tell me anything that's on your mind, your likes, your dislikes, your grievances, whatever, your happiness, whatever, okay? That's what we might do next week. I'm going to give it some thought, but I'm going to wait to hear some comments. So please, or write to me, info@petergshow.com. Let me know. Somebody wrote, there was a couple of emails this past week over last week's show. Positive ones, which is nice. But let me know what's going on, okay? Clip that. That's for sure. I hope everybody has a great week. I appreciate you. I think it was very important that I touched on this stuff this past month. I am not leaving it, but you know we're going to be going into what are we going into? September. Do you remember? August is gone. Again, the fall is here. Kids are in school. Time is flying. Life is so short and so precious. Let's make it count. Stop procrastinating. Get things done. Do what makes you happy. It's the worst feeling in the world when you just hate your life. It really is. Few people I know that I'm watching them go down. And I know that feeling because I was almost there when I had to make big life-changing decisions on, you know, when I was going through my divorce and got my custody of, 50-50 of my child, and I had to change my lifestyle. And it sucked. It sucked for a lot longer than I thought it was going to. You know, because in your mind, you think differently, but from the outside looking in, it's a lot different. And I got some people that I know, and I go, it's draining the life out of them. And it sucks. That's it. Just make the best out of it. I just say these things because it's a reminder, because sometimes you don't see yourself and you can't understand what's going on and you don't understand why you're not happy. And I want to say life is what you make it. And I know easier said than done. Just like somebody was talking about, with the best way to get through this whole darkness that they're trying to put on us is just walk away from everything and go into the woods. It's like, sure, no problem. Maybe for him it's okay, but a lot of people have families, they're established, you have things and jobs, and you just can't do that. You can't do that. I'm blessed in a lot of ways. I mean, when the pandemic hit and all that, I was here doing this already, so it didn't affect the way I did anything. I never missed a beat, and I don't have people telling me what to do. I mean, kind of, we talk about things, but you know what I'm saying? It's like nobody could tell me but I was getting stomped on anyway for talking about it. But the thing is, I was able to carry on with my life. It didn't affect me much. I didn't worry about it after the first 3 months when I finally figured it out. After that, I just laughed at people. I'd go someplace and go to the pharmacy. And they said, we're giving COVID shots. So have you had your COVID shot? And I just looked at the girl, and she's just, God bless her, she's just doing her job. She don't know no better. She's being dictated to, and they just do what they're told. And I just start break out laughing. I'm not getting no damn COVID shot. Are you kidding me? And she just looked at me with this blank face because she's like, I don't know what the hell she was thinking, but I didn't mean to make fun of her or nothing. But I was making fun of the situation because it was of the stupidity. But again, they sold it well, and they scared the shit out of people. And nothing scares you more than when they start putting death in your path. You have families and people you love. So screw them. Here we are. So be kind, okay? It's kind of stressful out there for a lot of people. It really is. And you don't have to take a bunch of shit from people, but you don't have to be an ass either. Try to be understanding. Again, love your family and your friends. You just don't know what's around the corner. I don't know anybody who walked out the door who knew that they weren't coming home that day. And it happens all the time, sadly, for multiple of reasons. So that's what I'm saying. Appreciate, grateful, make it count. My name is Peter G. I want to thank everybody for watching Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday, like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. And God willing, as always, because I mean that, okay? We all need a little bit of help, a little bit of accountability. I'll never, we all make mistakes. We all make bad calls here and there, but don't make a habit of it. Be open-minded. Make the right decisions. Take a breath before you speak. That's for sure. That was the one key thing I learned from a very close friend who was on the show almost 10 years ago. Take a breath before you speak. Don't just bark when you get poked. You may regret it. If you can take that breath and think for a second, you'll probably be glad you did in the long run. And I am living proof because I was on that road and I finally started catching myself, okay? And it works a lot better. But I understand the knee-jerk reaction. So handle it, all right? That's it. Hope you enjoyed the show. Please share. Please. And hit the like button on Facebook, the official Peter G Show page. There's a lot of people coming on to the profile page of Peter Gisellis. It really is. Please swing on over to the show page, the official Facebook Peter G Show page, and hit the follow or like, whatever it is. Just hit that, please. On YouTube, they're giving me a hard time as always, but please hit the subscribe button. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And again, you can always listen to the show on the go. Put an earbud in your ear while you're driving, exercising, at work, walking, whatever you're doing. Just Google Peter G Show podcast. Take the audio version with you. It's the next best thing to watching the show. And I love you for all the effort you put in and the time that you give me. Okay? I do this for you. I hope it's worth it to you. Let me know by telling me whether you want to do a call-in show next week or not. Say it in the comments and or email at info@petergshow. That's it. Can't say it enough, but say it because I mean it. So my name is Peter G. I love you guys. And as always, peace out.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
Cozy season is ahead, and you'll be spending way more time inside. Is your home ready? Don't worry. With Wayfair, you can upgrade your space without breaking the bank. Score up to 70% off during their Labor Day clearance on furniture, area rugs, mattresses, and more. Plus, surprise flash deals you can't miss. Whether it's one room or the whole house, Wayfair has pieces for every style and budget.
Shop Wayfair's Labor Day clearance now through September 7th at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.